Welcome back to Superhero Roundup Live here on youtube.com/SourceFedNERD. Welcome back, guys. I am so freaking excited. We got the whole crew back today. Today we have Maude Garrett on the panel. I need a louder applause, damn it.
That's better.
Thank you. Matt Lieberman, he has returned.
Hello! I'm so glad to be back. I missed you guys.
I missed you too.
Yeah.
And DJ Coultridge.
Yay!
And I'm Sam Basher.
Yay!
I'm Sam. I'm going to be running the show today. Hopefully I don't stutter, but no promises. Today, guys, we're going to be reviewing Agent Carter.
Boom.
The Flash.
Boom.
Arrow.
Oh.
Legends of Tomorrow.
Yay.
If you guys would like to follow along with us, you can tweet us your questions, comments, whatever at the hashtag #SHRoundup. Maude is going to be reading these tweets. We got some news for you, and be sure to go subscribe to our iTunes account because that's where we upload these audio podcasts every week. Make sure you rate and review there, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're listening to this on the audio podcast if you happen to stumble upon that, but if you did, that'd be really weird. Anyways, let's kick it off with some news.
Yes! Okay,
Matt?
a lot of news dropped this week. First and foremost, Darkseid being teased for Batman v Superman. We saw that concept art. You got that Omega symbol out in the sand, and that totally explains the parademons that we saw in what's been dubbed the Nightmare, like Nightmare with a K.
Knight. Yeah.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
That Batman has, that Bruce Wayne has during the movie. So now we're wondering, is it a dream or is it a premonition? What do you guys think?
I'm going to double down on my theory that it's we do a flash forward and see a possible future. Especially with the rumors that Flash is supposed to show up at the end from
the future.
from an apocalyptic
That would be
future.
really cool.
No.
I like the idea that it is a premonition, that we're like, instead of a flash forward, more just like maybe he's getting some kind of weird like Omega effects.
But who's supposed to be having that premonition?
Batman.
But it's Batman.
Batman did. Ma, what do you think?
I think he looks scary as hell.
Batman? Darkseid?
Darkseid.
He is a little
The first
scary.
thing-
He's
I
a
like
scary
this.
man.
I like this, and I think it's a little bit, a lot's happening at the moment where you're like, hold on, Batman and Doomsday and Lex Luthor and whoa,
And Darkseid,
It's all
Aquaman,
happening.
Flash, Cyborg.
Can I just quickly, I don't know if anyone else saw the parallel between Darkseid and Panthera from, what was that 80s cartoon?
Thundercats?
Oh,
Thundercats?
yes.
Thundercats? Oh no, I haven't
Oh, you
seen
mean
that.
Mumra?
No, Panthera. Panthera the...
Is that different from Panthro?
Panthro.
The
Yeah.
Flash is not in
Panthro
there.
is a good guy.
Yeah, but look-wise, look at them. They look the same.
Do they look the same?
They
A
are
little
both blue.
They're
Okay.
blue-
Blue bald
they're,
guys.
They're gray with
Oh,
They're
blue
so
blue
on.
all
bald.
blue people look the same to you.
By the way, I was
back
thinking about this. And the only person that can really play Darkseid is like Ron Perlman, right?
Right? It's pretty
Really?
much Ron
If you
Perlman or
think about
voice
it, I know
acting.
we were talking about him for Swamp Thing. That was the theory for Justice League Dark. But I was trying to run through people that would have the presence, because you want somebody to play Darkseid that would make Batman shit the bed.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Batman doesn't shit
I
the bed.
don't know. I can't think of another actor that would bring that kind of. Maybe John Cena.
Oh, God. No. All right, on that note,
John Cena.
On that note, we're moving on. Another piece of Batman v Superman news. Wonder Woman's age has been revealed, which, not polite to say a woman's age.
Never
but
asked.
That was a real dick move
she-
on Zack Snyder's part.
Right, but she is roughly 5,000 years old when we meet
She
her in
looks
Batman v
good.
Superman. And yeah, goddamn,
Not
Which
one.
she has not been skipping Yoga Lottie.
I was going to call bullshit, but if you look back to whatever century BC that was kind of the height of the Greek Empire.
You know,
So
DJ and I were
it
talking about it.
fits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. DC Comics is getting another comic reboot. It's been teased by Jim Lee and other insiders over at DC, and it's just like, wait, didn't we just do this?
We just did.
What this they might be doing what Marvel does every year, where they relaunch the whole line. The continuity doesn't relaunch, but all the comics start over.
They kind of
So it's
just did that
number
with
ones again.
Number
They-
ones,
they
yeah.
did that
Marvel's
with
been doing that for
DCU.
like 3 years now.
Sam, you were talking about it with me because I'd never heard of it like before with the whole wipe it clean, go again. But it's you're saying that it isolates the audience that they already have in a bid to bring new people in, and that's not
Yeah.
really working. So they keep trying to do it.
Remember, like when New 52 launched, it was a big campaign to get people to come in and start reading comics again. Because like, don't worry, guys, we're starting over. New Superman, new Flash, still the ones you know from like just general knowledge, but like they're starting over, so you get to follow them along and they're brand new adventures. But by doing that, you change a lot of things, and people who are classic readers and like they love these characters, they didn't come back. They didn't want to come back and keep reading. That was a
Right.
problem with the New 52, and this seems like it sounded like, based on the teases that it's the same thing. Doesn't mean it is. Could just be like a
I would
little
bet on
relaunch.
that, especially since the Rebirth subtitle was used for Green Lantern Rebirth and the Flash Rebirth, and both those weren't relaunches of those characters, but a new start for Hal Jordan and Barry Allen.
And those were really cool. At least I read Flash Rebirth. Oh, shocker! But yeah, that was
Spoiler
really
alert.
fun.
Isn't
Sam
like
Redford.
DC hitting like a nice stride with what they've been doing with Batman and Superman like in the last 6 months or so?
Convergence.
Unfortunately, the best way to get people to pick up a comic is slapping a shiny #1 on it because they feel like it's a new start for it. And
I
that's
know,
why
you know
Marvel
what?
once a year relaunches everything.
From an outsider's perspective, on someone that doesn't religiously get copies of issues of comics, I would be more inclined to start at a #1 issue, so I'm not missing out on anything.
Yeah, I feel that too.
I started at like Flash 38, and I was like, but they sell them as volumes, so you can kind of just grab those, sit on the toilet, read it in like an
trades
hour or
and-
two.
Yeah.
Don't tell me how to spend my time
Hey.
on the toilet.
You can.
Ma can spin however she wants on the toilet.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
A bit of Deadpool news. Hugh Jackman did an interview this week talking about Deadpool 2. Could we see Wolverine show up there? But Hugh Jackman explains he loves working with Ryan Reynolds, but he thinks that Fox is already lining up a new Wolverine.
Yeah, I saw the interview, or listened, I read it. But he explained that like he
You were
loves
there.
Ryan
You were in the
Reynolds. I just kind of heard someone talking about it. But he said that he loves Ryan Reynolds, but Wolverine 3 is the last one. It's meant to be the last.
And I love that they say
one.
if they get the script right, the script for the Wolverine standalone movies are never great, in my opinion. He's so much better in the X-Men instead of doing his own standalone.
Like-
Well,
I still defend the
the
Wolverine as one of
Wolverine
the
was
best X-Men
pretty
movies.
good. Yeah.
But what would get me back into loving life would be Wolverine versus Deadpool.
Yeah.
That would be really fun.
Wouldn't that be good?
You realize we got that at the end of X-Men Origins
Yeah.
Wolverine.
Remember that amazing fight scene?
No.
With the teleporting piece
Save
of crap?
yourself.
You realize Hugh Jackman's going to get those questions for the rest of his life. So I know you haven't been doing Wolverine for 10 years, but you're going to be Wolverine again?
Yeah, do it just one more time,
one more
and then
movie?
Maybe
3
that's-
more times after that,
that.
and maybe just a couple TV shows.
Yeah.
Ooh, just one more.
Yeah, just one more.
On Instagram one time, I saw a fan image popped up of somebody doing Tom Hardy as Wolverine, and it's like, it really would. I would love to see Tom Hardy in the DCU, but it really would be.
He's already
perfect.
he's doing 100 bullets. He's doing 100 bullets for DC.
They're saying Taron Egerton is like in talks big time and the front runner to take over Wolverine.
Joel Edgerton.
No,
Taron Egerton?
Edgerton.
Tiny little
Lil
Kingsman
boy?
He's a little boy.
Oh,
Wait,
I don't even
but
think he
he
can
is
grow a
supposed to be
beard.
little in
But,
the
and that's why I think
comics.
Tom Hardy would be good at it because Tom Hardy is short, but he's
He's like
but
Jack.
he is older, and they want a
Wolfie.
younger actor to like.
Why?
No matter what,
'Cause
you
he'll
know,
age.
Wolverine.
as long as they're jacked, man.
Yeah.
I gave it
it's
to
also-
you to make a
It's
point, and you made a
also-
pun.
in line with the chronology. They're not going to pick up with our elder X-Men from the 90s and early 2000s. They're going to continue to grow the cast from X-Men Apocalypse.
and
so
and
it should be a
and the
younger.
Wolverine in the '70s looked like Hugh Jackman.
Yes, yes, he did.
Yeah.
Super veiny.
Yeah.
Super veiny.
Super veiny. That was just his spirit inside of his younger body, okay? That's just how he looked to us.
Nice.
All right. And finally, a piece of news dropped today.
Today.
Now, many of you may remember, I know you guys remember, when there was like a leaked photo of a poster that said JLA on it in the Cartoon Network offices. We finally know what that show is. It's called Justice League Action. It's coming to Cartoon Network. There's no release date yet, but the big news, Kevin Conroy is back as Batman and Mark Hamill is back as the Joker.
Which is the
best.
The
hits.
best.
Like,
Yeah,
pretty
and this
much-
actually, this marks the 25th year that Kevin Conroy has voiced the character.
Wow.
Yeah, we're old, man.
He is the definitive.
I was
Yeah.
talking to somebody my younger brother, who did not watch the animated series as a kid, and then I'm just like, he was playing Batman Arkham Knight, the newest game, and he's like, his voice is too gravelly, he doesn't sound like Batman. I'm like, he is Batman.
Yeah.
He is
That is
Batman.
the Batman.
Regardless of what you say, like Ben Affleck could be great, Christian Bale enjoyed him. I like who's the original? Michael Keaton. Like
Yeah.
Michael Keaton as Batman. But
about George
Kevin
Clooney?
Conroy,
Adam West?
he is interesting. But he will always be the voice of Batman for me.
But
Right.
we all know the series, no matter what, is going to get a lot of shit because it's from the same creator of Teen Titans Go.
Yeah.
It's going to be like that. And what
It's
people,
the same format.
Which I am of the camp that there's nothing wrong there's nothing wrong about that show. It's just not it's not meant to be it's Rugrats.
Yeah.
It's meant for kids. It's meant for little kids. It's not meant for like kids and adults.
Well,
it's meant for kids.
Alan Burnett is working on it. A bunch of people who worked on the older JLU cartoon and all those other cartoons are on staff with it. The one thing that gives me pause is that it's 11-minute episodes.
It's
like Teen
it's
Titans
meant
Go.
for kids to
Shorts.
watch Nicktoons.
Yeah.
That's what it's meant for,
Right.
and it's not going to be an adult.
But at the same time, Adventure Time is 11-minute cartoons. Steven Universe is 11-minute cartoons, and there's plenty to enjoy as an adult in those shows.
Okay, really quick, Maude, have you seen any of the JLA Justice League TV shows or Young Justice or original Teen Titans? Any of those?
Oh, the original Teen Titans.
Yeah, so
Teen Titans.
Teen Titans Go. Yeah,
Yeah.
Teen Titan. Have you seen Teen Titans Go?
No.
Same voice actors for
Yeah.
the most part, and
Same
but
creators.
Yeah, same creators. It's just different styling, which is fine
meant-
for the art,
and
and
it's
it's
comedy.
It's not
younger-
meant. It's
younger
not
audience.
it's not a superhero action show. It's a comedy.
yeah. But like I enjoyed that the older shows did skew a little older, just for or at least to fans of the characters.
Yeah.
Will I still check this out? Probably. Why? Because I'm a baby. I'm a baby.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill. Pretty
Here,
cool.
wait, Jonathan, scroll back up. We had a comment
God.
that Mark Hamill actually tweeted that the show is going to be more kid friendly.
Yeah,
Right.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
of course it is. That's fine because what they want, if you want more adult animation stuff, they're going to direct you towards their direct
To DVD movies.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Lonely Seahorse, thank you for that comment on the YouTubes.
Hey,
But
before we get stuck into the reviews of the shows, should we kind of just have a little chat why we've selected these 4 shows to review and why shows like Lucifer, which people are talking about, and why
sorry.
Supergirl isn't in the mix anymore?
Yeah,
Because
okay, so-
I'm
Time.
copping
Mostly
that.
time.
Yeah,
But,
mostly
okay,
mostly we can't
Maybe
watch
it's
every
just me.
show.
really quick. We try to do quick sum ups in the beginning of the show for iZombie, Heroes, whatnot. We end up getting stuck on there. We don't have enough time to talk about all the shows, so we had to make a tough decision and narrow it down to 4. We're talking about 2 shows that only have 13 episodes runs. That's super simple. Agent Carter and Legends of Tomorrow. When those end, we got 2 new slots to open up for Supergirl, Agents
whatever.
of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
And also,
Preacher, maybe?
Preacher, maybe.
Legends of Tomorrow is a spinoff of our 2 most popular shows, and the Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter have been one of our more popular shows. So we just went with the ones the fans like the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, we love all of these shows. We watch all of these shows, but the audience likes these shows the most, or at least the vast majority of you that have reached out to us via Twitter, who talk about it the most, who comment on them the most in the comments here. And so, in order to give you the best possible discussion of those shows, we had to cut down for time. We're sorry.
We even-
It's all good, though, because we still love you,
Yeah.
and you guys love us, hopefully.
As a side note, I am still watching Supergirl, and this week's was one of the better episodes of the show. We got White Martians.
Yeah, I
and
know.
they look crazy good.
Yeah.
And
Maude, you like White Martians?
Oh,
Oh.
I love
As a-
white
as a-
marshmallows more.
As an old school fan, seeing a lot of that stuff brought to life was really cool. And the character interactions are still really on point and stronger than the superhero elements.
Yeah.
The one part that show needs to work on is its big superhero elements. The character, I think, the character interactions between characters is actually better than most of the other shows we watch.
I would say it's
Who knows?
definitely on par. I would definitely say the Cat Grant Kara relationship is stronger than most of the relationships on any of these shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also did a little bit of a poll on the SourceFedNERD Twitter page, so jump onto there. And if you are there and want to have a chat with me, use that hashtag SHRoundup because I'll be showing tweets throughout the show. But we said, out of these 4 shows that we are recapping, what are your favorites? And there was Legends of Tomorrow, The Flash, Arrow, and Agent Carter. Nearly 50% of your votes voted for The Flash.
Yeah.
Nearly
Surprising no one.
half.
Yeah.
Coming in second place at 21% was Arrow, and then just behind that was 19% with Agent Carter. Not everyone's sold with Legends of Tomorrow, and if
It
you're
is
not,
brand new.
It is
Yeah.
stick
brand new.
around
Yeah.
when we do our recap, and we may just convince you to give it a go.
Because holy crap,
Yeah.
I'm kind of blown away by that show. But let's get started with Agent Carter. Also, guys, keep in mind the question of the day is, did Arrow confirm the existence of Batman in this week's episode? We tweeted it out this morning. Think about it, mull it over, maybe watch that episode while you're watching this episode of Superhero Roundup, in case you missed a little
could do
tease,
that.
because it was pretty cool.
Yep.
DJ and I kind of geeked out about it earlier, but let's kick it off with Agent Carter this week. It was the 3rd episode of season 2. It's picking up right after the explosion of the Zero Matter, and you're trying to figure out what happened to Wilkes, what happened to Madame Mask, whatever her character
Is
name
Zero
is.
Matter new?
I have not heard of it. I didn't do
I
too
thought
much
that's what the
research.
Agent
Because the
of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Black Goo
stuff.
thing has been a running theme through the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I thought it was the same stuff.
It's different stuff. This is
No,
new.
no.
It's new Black Goo.
No,
That's
see,
it's the same.
they
Don't
paid-
dare try and tell
they
me
paid
it's
a lot
different.
for the mod, the plugin
Yeah,
for After
for the-
Effects, so they kind of have to keep
have to
using
reuse
it for
I
this
was
season.
really impressed.
But
I
it
know
does
this.
the same thing.
I know
No, it
this
doesn't,
was-
because the other one opens a portal
Yeah, but
to
where is
another
it? It does,
planet.
but this one opens a
and
portal.
This one
Do you guys?
pulls
Do you guys?
to another
do you
dimension.
guys think it's connected?
Yes.
Is the zero matter connected to the monolith?
Probably because Hydra or the Alpha Club is
Whatever
real
the hell,
interested in
yeah.
it. Yeah.
My vote is yes, it's the same.
Yes.
Or
No.
related.
Similar.
Yes.
I was pretty impressed
The
with the old
pre-mold.
footage of what it did.
I liked that.
I thought that was
In
pretty
fact,
cool for this show.
The different ways that they will use kind of like worked footage.
Yeah.
So like when there's one of the driving shots, it would look
Yeah,
like
it was actually old stock footage.
Yeah.
That was
I
fun.
love that.
I really love that attention to detail.
I gotta say, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. The monolith is clearly is of alien origin.
Maybe.
It's a Kree monolith that turns into a portal. This
That's
is
science,
a substance
okay?
that
That
was
is
created
science.
that was created by a nuclear bomb gone wrong that somehow split the universe in twain and produced
But,
this.
but
Oh, wait,
maybe it
when the
produced
split-
whatever the same
Yeah.
substance it's made out.
But if in a universe
then
it's
why
just
is
split in
it?
twain.
Then why doesn't it
Huh?
solidify?
Hold on, if a universe is split in
could-
twain, it might connect two pieces of the universe together, like an alien planet and Earth. All right.
I don't know.
I don't know. Whatever. It's
Hold
a
on, I
fucking
need a
rock.
clear.
All right.
I
It's
need a
fucking
clear
goo.
board for you to draw this
Yeah,
out for me.
we need a whiteboard.
Yeah,
So
I want to
like,
see a
white all
diagram.
connected.
Here's what
That whiteboard's
relativity
gonna come in
is.
real handy when we get to Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh my
All right,
God.
let's get to some points really quick. I love this season. It's fucking great. I love that Howard's finally in there because he was
Yeah.
one of my favorite parts of the first season.
Yeah.
I like what they're doing with Madam Mask.
thought he wasn't going to be included at all because he's on Preacher. So I'm
He is
glad
on
showed
Preacher,
up.
but these are 13 episode
Dominic?
series.
Yeah.
Dominic is. Yeah, he
I'm
was
sure.
on
I'm sure he's
Preacher.
not going to show back up again until the end because he's off to Brazil or
Right.
wherever.
He'll show up like maybe 2 episodes before the end with the scientist in tow.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, Matt, let's get some thoughts of yours on this show. What are you liking? What are you disliking? How you feeling?
Yeah, personally, I really love the chemistry between these characters.
Oh, yeah.
I was somebody who was a little more lukewarm on season 1 of Agent Carter, and I feel like they really hit the ground running with a compelling mystery. I love the change in location. The comedy elements are really on point, and it's something that no show does as well or as consistently.
Yeah.
And it makes it feel different. I love Peggy. I love watching
Peggy's
her be a
great.
spy, kick ass. I really like this love story with Jason Wilkes. I felt maybe it was a little ham-fisted at the top of the season, but I like how she's slowly but surely letting him in. I don't think that it's like, oh, she's suddenly in love with this
No,
dude.
I think she's racked by guilt.
Exactly.
But I
she
don't
got
think
him
it's
in trouble.
love.
She got
I
him
think it's
almost
guilt.
killed. And I love that he's back and how they brought him back. It didn't feel contrived to me.
Okay, why is Agent Carter more sci-fi than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Like,
Yeah.
he is like out of sync with reality and they're using a squirt gun
It's
to bring
almost
him
like-
back into reality. It's like, hold on, open your mouth.
It's almost
Why
like
the fuck would that
Yeah.
work?
Episode of Charmed.
Yeah.
Kind of reminding me of Eureka in many ways.
Yes,
Yeah.
Eureka's on Sci-Fi. You guys should check it out on Netflix. That show is bonkers and really fun.
It's so much fun, and that it's like that idea of we can have a light, fun sci-fi show that has a lot of big ideas and has good characters that we can really latch on to.
Agreed. Yeah. But also, you said that you enjoyed Wilkes' relationship with Peggy DJ.
Again, I had to because I missed it last week. I had to go straight through these 3 episodes. I'm not buying it. I feel like it's too. Her pining after Sousa and all this stuff feels beneath Peggy.
He is the one with the.
I'll
Yeah.
forgive it. I forgive Flash and Supergirl for all their oh, this person I like because they're children. They look like teenagers. You know what I mean? Peggy is an adult. She's a grown up, and I want her to act like a
She
grown up.
is a woman.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
is. You know, and it's
Yeah.
It just feels all this stuff feels
Something
Yeah.
you want to say there, Maude?
Not at all. Yeah.
beneath her a little bit. But and I thought the spray can was a little too goofy for me. It was a little too much for me.
Oh, come on.
It was a little
He
too
was
much for
great.
me.
A little squirt gun in the mouth and
Yeah.
he could talk again
Yeah,
because
give him a
he's
little
on
shot
a
in the
different
mouth.
plane of existence.
Which means
'Cause it's a monolith.
no matter should be affecting him at all.
Hey,
Hey,
no,
hey,
the
hey.
chemical compound turns light
It's
into
it's an emulsion. It coated him, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, he doesn't understand.
He doesn't understand emulsions.
We didn't cover that
Yeah,
in my science.
really quick, Maude, this is your first season of Agent
It
Carter.
is, and
yes.
so this is the first time I've seen Howard Stark. I'm really, really enjoying him as a character. I kind of get it. He's brilliant. You know why. You've heard only about him with the whole Jarvis thing. That's really fun for me. The ending of this show, I didn't see that coming, and I loved to. These kind of shows can be predictable, and I love it when it's not at all. So I was gasping in the way that the dark zero matter monolith.
matter, yeah.
Yep.
Not the monolith.
Yeah, it is, man. But
different.
she's holding
I'll fight
it in
you,
her,
bro.
in her hand. I think the monolith takes the shape of when it's best suited, and maybe in that time, because there's been a little bit of time between it. This is the origin story, the prequel, one may say. So this is what happened before. Maybe someone infected it with some sort of biochemical hazard material and made it be solid.
Oh wait.
But for now, it's just in a bloodstream, and she's doing some bonkers shit with it.
No, I just realized we're kind of in the 1800s. That block already existed.
Boom!
Remember
Yeah,
the
it's not.
1800s
Again,
already
I don't know if
existed.
it's specifically the monolith, but it might be the same material.
It would have been cool
Because
if
it definitely
was.
shows. And the other thing they did last season is Agent Carter connected to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and its overarching
I like that they
story.
did that. Yeah, that was super cool.
I am waiting. Speaking of Whitney Frost, she's already got the scar, so the mask is coming soon. I want her to be a little more assertive.
I liked how assertive
She's
she
pretty
was.
victim-y.
She is to two different types of people.
Yeah.
To her
Yeah.
husband, she's got his balls in her hand.
Yeah.
But when it comes to her job, she realizes that she can't be this, brash woman.
It's strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now with this kind of deformity / like empowerment thing through the zero matter, she's gonna kind of have a cool switch and progression through the season. At least I think so.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see her evolution through the show. Hopefully, maybe different powers would be kind of cool.
She's
I'm
actually a really
excited.
great little actress. I like
do
her in
too.
this a lot.
I liked her showdown with Wilkes in episode 2. That's when you got to see kind of how
Icy she was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've got a tweet here from Muslim Alton, who said, "Theory: what if zero matter is a conscious being?" I kind of feel like it already is.
because it did do two different things. It chose to bond with her, and then it flew him out of reality for some
What
reason.
if
Yeah.
the Zero Matter is the alien symbiote from Spider-Man?
Oh, I mean,
this
come on.
is
how
how
you
that
bring-
makes
Agent
more
Thompson-
sense
And
too.
Agent Thompson
Spirit-
is
Do you see?
Flash Thompson's grandfather.
Yeah.
I'm interested in what they're doing with Thompson. I'm sorry, I spit a little bit. I apologize.
Go ahead, spell me.
Because he's clearly an antagonist
Who is this?
and he's dumb. Chad Michael Murray.
There you go.
Yeah.
The blonde.
I'm going to say
pretty
Jonathan
boy.
Taylor
yeah.
Thomas.
That's the same thing.
That dummy. That rat face.
Because he's a dummy and he's a jerk,
Yeah.
but he doesn't. He's not defined. He functions like a person. Like you could tell, he wants to connect with Sousa, and he's not really smart enough to figure out him being an asshole keeps him from connecting to people like Sousa.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Peggy.
Okay, so quick thing. Is SSR in bed with this, what was it, A group?
The Alpha Club?
The Alpha Club, yeah.
Well, definitely FBI dad from '70s show, right?
Yeah, FBI Kurtwood Smith is definitely Hydra.
Yeah.
Ooh, definitely Hydra.
Yeah,
He's
and
definitely
he's
Hydra.
manipulating his position to impact on the SSR.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
No, this season to me is about the SSR discovering that Hydra continues to exist, not within S.H.I.E.L.D. or what SSR continues to become, but that they continue to exist and are still operating. And then,
Interesting.
I don't remember. Did we deal with Leviathan last season?
yes, Leviathan
it was
was.
roughly-
Was gone, or did they just that plot was thwarted and Leviathan's still doing their thing?
I
There
think
you go.
Leviathan's still doing their thing.
Yeah,
so
'cause
maybe it's Leviathan connected.
We only saw Leviathan kind of. We saw him through Manipulator with the ring. Apologize with names. I'm horrible with names. Who was the main guy, bad guy last
Faust.
week? Faust. And with Dottie. And then you saw the school where the girls were being trained.
Yeah.
But that was about it. Like, that was about as all we saw of Leviathan. Also, speech box guys.
Yes.
Which
Which were still
I
pretty
completely
creepy.
forgot about.
Yeah.
That
They
was a
were-
great
Those
really
were the
cool
coolest.
Last season, there was a villain. All these agents, these secret agents, had their larynxes removed, but they would speak through little speech boxes they'd put up to their throats.
those translators.
Kind of like people who've smoked like their whole life, kind of thing. I don't know what the
and
name of that
the
is.
typewriters that were able to communicate across.
Oh yeah, that was like
there's
the
a lot of
first
fun
text
Take
message.
those back.
That was super cool. What would you guys rate this episode out of 10? Let us know in the comments down below. What would you guys rate this?
7.5.
7.5.
I would
Pretty
give it-
high.
I liked last episode a little bit more.
Me too.
Yeah.
I guess maybe I'm being generous. I would give it an 8. It was a fun romp. I like how they're developing this season.
DJ?
I'd probably give it an 8.
8?
Yeah.
I think I'd give it like a 7.5, maybe 7. It's just when it's probably bad, but I'm comparing it to the other shows and how hyped I got for
Yes.
those.
Yeah.
And it's not that this was not
That.
exciting and enthralling and engaging. It's just that I got more excited while watching the other shows. Still going to stick along with this show and enjoy every second of it.
Super quick, just before we move on, Christoph Wakoli at Christoph628 says, it's not the monolith, it's the gravitonium from season 1.
No, they abandoned that. They in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 1, they had some kind of weird graviton.
Gravitonium, and then a dude got sucked in and became Gravitonium.
Or he was supposed to, but he's just trapped
but then
in
he
there.
never came back. I don't know.
Those showrunners got so Jed Whedon got so excited, and then they're like,
Gravitonium.
no, don't do that. But yeah,
Listen, we're saving that villain for Avengers 15. You can't use him now.
can't do that.
use him. Oh God, that's awful. That's super awful. But hey. Let's move along.
Yeah.
This is a Flash. Make sure you send us your questions. Hashtag SH Roundup. Maud's going to read those questions on the show.
Yes.
Homeowners are in. This is your favorite show that we review.
Oh, God.
The
Duh.
Flash.
Duh. But this episode, it was the return of the Reverse Flash, even though he's dead. But this is his origin story, even though we didn't see the beginning of his
I
story.
don't understand what's happening. I thought we were all trying to figure out who Zoom was, and now all of a sudden Reverse Flash is back.
You can't talk about Zoom every episode because they're not getting far. They're not figuring that out. But
Zoom's also fast after all.
Boring.
Zoom is a little boring.
Yeah, so Zoom's more like, do we care about Zoom?
Uh,
Like, especially
Soon
compared
we
to how
will.
we cared about Reverse Flash.
I care about Reverse Flash.
I care about
a whole bunch.
Reverse
I
Flash.
cared about Reverse Flash in season 1. I do not care about him in this episode.
Neither.
Ooh,
Zoom.
interesting. All right, let's kick off with DJ. What do you think about this episode?
I thought last episode was better.
What?
Why?
I thought last episode was better. There was a little bit of wonkiness. I still want Flash to get a little bit better about understanding its own rules. Because like Turtle was stopping people, but the chandelier was still falling, and that was never quite like, can he choose what he stopped? I don't know, whatever. But
And that's the episode that you're defending.
Yes, that's the episode I'm defending. Because I thought it was more fun, and I thought this was clunky. It was a lot of things thrown together, and it didn't quite gel. I don't care about Jay and Caitlin. I don't.
Not yet, but hopefully they turn into evil and then they're fun and exciting.
Yeah, maybe, but that doesn't excuse them being boring
No,
now.
it does because
No.
it's so exciting because they're boring is like to a breaking point where we want to shoot ourselves
Exactly.
and then they're going to turn into like global killers. Oh my God, cool.
Matt.
I want to just take one quick, sweet moment and say I called it. I freaking called it that Jay was Zoom. I called that Jay was Zoom back in
Cut
last
to a
year.
clip.
Somebody cut
Let's
to
cut
a
to
clip.
a
I don't
clip.
remember
It's a
this.
live
Cut
show,
to
but let's
choke
cut to a
clips.
clip. No, but I called it that Jay was Zoom. This is different because it's this universe is Jay.
Maybe.
But in the comics, Hunter Zolomon is Zoom.
Maybe the character we've met all season is actually Hunter Zolomon.
It is because here's what's totally
What?
And that Jay
he's doing some
Garrett.
sort
here's
of
what's gonna happen.
Really quick, Matt. Yeah.
Here's what's going to happen. This is a big prediction for how the rest of the season is going to go down. Caitlin is going to not heed Jay's advice because she doesn't want Jay to die, and she's going to interact with Hunter Zolomon in the first place to get his cells. In doing so,
She falls in love with him.
well, she doesn't fall in love with him. She exposes a little too much about what's going on in his role in the universe and the fact that in another world, he is a hero, and in this world, he's just an orphan and a nobody. This is going to eat at Hunter Zolomon. He is going to slip through.
Perfect foundations for a supervillain.
Exactly. He's going to somehow slip through the portal. He's going to become Zoom somehow. I don't know how, but she is going to inadvertently have created Zoom, and he will then go back through time and F up the time.
And kill her.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is what kind of emphasizes my disappointment with this episode, because we finally get to the origin story of Reverse Flash, and instead of it being this complex, interesting thing, it's just like, I already hate you and I already want to kill you.
I think
it's not the origin story. That's
but
a
it is.
misnomer.
Yeah.
They go out of their way to define this as this is where he begins. This is where he finds out about Harrison Wells and Barry and all these things. We spell all that out. And wouldn't it have been more interesting if he comes back genuinely excited to meet the Flash, a la Little Syndrome in Incredibles, and Flash already hates his guts because he's Reverse Flash and reveals to him, no, you're my worst enemy. I hate you. And that starts that snaps the twig, and so Flash is kind of inadvertently responsible for Reverse Flash. Isn't that more interesting than I'm going to kill you later?
I think
Yes,
you're
it
sticking
is.
to, yeah, you're correct. And I think you're sticking a little too hard when they say origin, because I think they picked the wrong word. I think that's the wrong
Yes.
thing. You're correct.
Misnomer.
A misnomer. That's the word of the day. But I think
Look it up, kids.
they said
Misnomer.
origin because I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. But he still set up the fact that, like, at the end of season 1, he set up that we've been enemies forever. So now you get an episode showing that he is still an enemy of him, but he's still trying to figure out about figure out things about the Flash. He doesn't know his name yet, but now he's figured out what time period he lived in, which I don't
Isn't it
know why
Ichabod?
that was. Huh?
Ichabod?
Eobod. You keep saying Ichabod. And we need one more episode of a real origin story of a young, spry Eobard coming back from the 23rd. We're in the 21st century. The 23rd century, and he's excited to meet the Flash, but he goes to the Flash Museum and he sees that he's the one. He's the one that's supposed to be. He's supposed to be the
Right.
Reverse Flash,
Yeah.
the enemy of the Flash, and he snaps.
That is a
It's so cool.
standalone episode that's going to come later on. Here's the beauty of this episode. It's what?
Time travel. It's time travel.
Really hard.
No, I feel like it logically explained to the audience how the Reverse Flash can still be around. The fact that we're interacting with a fragment of the Reverse Flash in his timeline before he came to the past to kill Barry's mom. Even though we erased him from existence, all of the things that already happened in time did happen. So we can still interact with the Reverse Flash that has not yet come back and done what he did in season 1 for the rest of the series. And that means that when we're dealing with the Reverse Flash, and Matt Letcher is awesome as Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
He's great. When we're dealing with the Reverse Flash more hardcore next season or the season after, you can have an episode after we've learned a lot about Reverse Flash where we can actually go into, from his perspective, how he became what he is.
And that's what I'm excited for. Maude, really quick, what were you thinking about this episode? How do you feel?
When was it that they? Okay, I'm the kind of audience watching these shows where I'm like lowest common denominator, like to clap and go yay. That's how I like to watch these superhero
That's
shows. So that this is what they're like when they're doing the talking to me through the show. Zoom, let's all talk about Zoom. Everyone look, he, and then all of a sudden they're like, Reverse Flash. I was like, what happened? What? How is this part of the timeline? Because then Harrison Wells was Reverse Flash, but because he took over Harrison's body.
Eobard took over Harrison Wells' body.
Yeah, but then Zoom is working with Harrison. What happened?
He's working with Earth 2 Harrison.
But then they did a very comprehensive explanation where they're like, time fragment, go with it.
I wish he had like jingle keys that
Yeah.
you show babies like
That's what
time
I
travel.
needed.
Time travel. See, there's Zoom, Reverse Flash, two different people. Okay, yeah.
You could also do an explanation of like, and even this would be convoluted. Like, yeah, the Eobard Thawne that was a son of Eddie Thawne no longer exists. He still exists. He's just no longer that version of his timeline no longer exists in this. Whatever.
Yeah,
Here's
no,
a complicated
I
bit.
thought
Can I?
Yeah, one sec. Sorry. Yeah, Matt, what were you thinking?
no, go for it.
Yeah.
I think that this could have been. This episode had more potential.
Okay,
Sure, I understand
Matt.
that. So just to clarify for anybody who's confused about how Reverse Flash still exists. Okay, so they're using a variation on the lost school of time travel, which is anything that you do in the past or in the future, all time travel stuff, whatever you did, it already happened. It was meant to happen, it already happened. So, even though last season, the Reverse Flash, at the end of his life cycle, after he had been stranded in the 1980s and lived in Earth 1 up until 2015, was Harrison Wells and was killed by the Flash or by Eddie killing himself. That all happened. But everything that he did to get to that moment also really already happened. Even though we erased him from existence, all that stuff still has to play out for causality to work.
Okay,
I
so
also
really
like
quick, I gotta say we gotta move through just the Reverse Flash part of the episode because a lot of other
I know,
things
I know,
happen.
yeah.
But thank you. It is good to
I
clear up
needed
for the
that.
audience. You can find some tweets if there's anybody talking about Flash.
Yeah.
I'd like to say, from my point of view, I liked how even this episode felt for me. Iris was still compelling with Wally and Francine and all that garbage. Patty was kind of a dick.
Patty
if I'm gonna be
Bratty,
honest.
Bratty Patty, man.
I'm sorry.
That plot line really took a nosedive last episode with her. Like, because I
Yeah.
always hate to like listen. I need to protect you because I'm a superhero, which means I'm still going to be with you, but I'm not going to give you key information to protect yourself. So some people will still want to hurt you because you're still in my life.
Yeah.
But I'm just not going to tell you about it. I'm not going to tell you that there's a bunch of people out there that want to hurt you.
It just
Like,
took Patty a whole year to figure all this out.
Yeah, but I'm glad she figured it out. At least that gave her some agency. I don't know if the whole tricking him into revealing himself was.
That was Bratty Patty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, Barry. But why
Yeah.
would you say his name? And like, because we brought this up earlier,
Hey,
it's
guys,
like,
did you just hear? She called him Barry.
But
Yeah.
and no
He's
one,
some guy named Barry.
Yeah.
and no one in 2016 is named Barry.
Yeah.
It's very easy to figure
Guys,
out who's Barry.
I have Wi-Fi on this train. There are only 5 people named Barry in Central City,
and one of them works for the police station.
Yeah.
Could it be him?
but how cool is
And
the vibe
owns
stuff?
Star Labs.
Vibe stuff
the
was
The vibe
dope.
stuff was fun.
I
They
have a bit of
updated
a
sunglasses.
theory with that,
Yes.
and because Harrison Wells has an ulterior motive now, he's unlocking Vibe's abilities, but obviously it hurt him. I was wondering if he did that on purpose to put Cisco in a vulnerable position, meaning that he had to send Reverse Flash back.
He was injured not because of the vibe goggles or the increase in his powers. He was injured because they had captured Reverse Flash.
And not let him go home the way time was supposed to move
How does that
forward.
Which,
affect
by the
Cisco?
way,
Cisco vibed it, and he is tied into like the vibrations of the reality. And so when things don't work out right,
listen,
he gets
the,
a headache.
The writers needed a reason for for Reverse Flash to be sent back to the future,
And that's why they did it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so because Vibe's connected to the multiverse,
You could also argue that it was the Reverse Flash who connected Vibe to the multiverse, and that is why,
Oh,
in
yeah.
particular, this example is why it hurt him.
Yes.
Didn't he kill
Yes.
Vibe? Didn't he kill Cisco as well
Exactly.
at one stage? Okay.
So he would not be where he is, who he is right now, without Reverse Flash going back to his time now.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a lot of Reverse Flash confusion.
yeah.
All right.
But
In
don't
this
worry, he's not
episode,
going to show up again for probably another season.
yes.
But takeaways from this episode?
Takeaways.
Takeaways?
It's my favorite episode of the season. Thought it was super balanced.
I
Thought
would
everybody
agree.
was able to move forward because no more goddamn Legends of Tomorrow things. No one's setting up any Firestorms or Atoms or White Canaries or Captain Colds. They're over doing their own shit, and we're going to talk about them in a second. So now it's just on Zoom
Yeah.
and Barry. We
And
can talk
Reverse.
about in Reverse Flash. God damn it. We do need to talk about Hunter Zolomon was
Yes.
introduced.
Yes.
Jay Garrick's alter ego, which for some reason he wasn't able to figure out. My genes changed because I got struck by. Sometimes Jay's a freaking idiot. I'm sorry.
Jay's useless on the show,
Yes.
unfortunately. Was
now.
anybody else hoping that they're like the reason you can't find Jay Garrick in this timeline is because he served in World War II and died in World War II?
Wait,
As a
that doesn't-
throwback to when the original Flash showed up in the comics in World War II.
That would have been fun.
Because
And
like,
I
why
don't-
does
it
everybody's
would not have
doppelganger
made
in the
sense.
exact timeline that they were in?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Because.
It's
I
an
don't
alternate
know.
universe.
I've got one with
Because
Tom.
is not an answer.
Tom McKee at Tom McKee SB says, could Caitlin give Hunter Zolomon Velocity 9 to make his DNA compatible with Jay's mutated
Maybe.
speedster DNA?
Honestly, I feel like the reveal is the guy that we've been hanging out with all season is actually Hunter Zolomon, and so the guy he pointed out was actually Jay Garrick. And we've never actually met Jay
damn
Garrick.
it!
Then wait, why
Show.
would why?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're not going to play their cards that soon. It's not going to be, oh, that guy's Zoom.
That doesn't make sense though because
but we
Jay
can't
and
do-
Harrison know each other from
Anyway,
Earth.
should we rate the episode?
Hold on, really quick.
I've got another theory. Which
Yes,
is
go
very
ahead
interesting.
with your
So,
theory.
Samuel Didier at Samuel the Don says, theory, the Flash will lose his speed temporarily and Hunter and Wally will snag some of it.
I don't know.
I'm excited about Wally. I like the actor who plays Wally. I think
Yes.
he's real good. I think he works real good with Joe.
He has
And
great
Iris.
chemistry with Candace Patton.
Yep,
who plays
I
Iris.
agree.
I'm excited to see what they do with him.
I'm very excited to
Would
see
it be
next.
weird if they hooked up because they look so similar?
It'd be weird that
In
they
real
hooked
life?
up because they're
Oh, in real
Oh,
life.
you
in
know,
real life. I was
yeah,
like at the
yeah,
show.
yeah.
It's like they're siblings.
Yes,
That's
it
nuts.
would. It would be very weird.
So-
Yes, it's also weird
So
that
my
Barry
mind-
and Iris hook up
Incest
because
is
they're
incest.
kind of siblings too.
There
Yeah.
you go, yeah.
All right, guys, let's
All right.
rate this episode because apparently it is very convoluted and confusing.
Yeah.
I give it a 9.
Wow.
It's my favorite episode of the season for Flash, by far.
I like
100%.
the Christmas episode better and the Captain Cold with his dad episode better.
That was fun, and both are fun.
Yeah.
but it's still my favorite.
No.
Matt.
It's somewhere between an 8.5 and a 9 for me. I can't quite give it that level of quality because it didn't blow my mind, but it was the first episode this season that I've had no problems with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even including the season premiere. So I'd give it like an 8.8.
I'm giving it an 8. I threw in a little bit more love because they put in the whiteboard explanations for me.
Okay, by the way, that's just gobbledygook. That means like fucking
It helps.
nothing.
Yeah.
You know,
It helps.
my favorite is in comics. They always say he was in the Speed Force when it happened, so they doesn't
But
count.
if you draw me a circle and then a line
Magic
into another
happened.
circle, it's
Magic.
like,
Yeah. No, he did the same explanation like in Back to the Future
oh,
with this
man.
timeline
Yeah.
Lots
and this
of
one.
sevens.
But you
Yeah,
don't
I
get
give
to
it.
see
I give it a 6.5. I thought it was
6.5?
I thought it was one of the weaker episodes of the season.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna move on ahead to
Arrow.
Arrow. Make sure you send us your questions. # SH Roundup.
Arrow has been on point for me this
On
season.
point. This episode, we got some Felicity in a wheelchair, and we had some Argus throwbacks, and someone had their eye gouged out. What do we think of
That
it?
was the most graphic thing I think we've ever
Well,
seen on
that
Arrow.
was
The shot of the
well
guy with his
done.
eye gone. I was like,
That was cool.
whoa,
That's
CW,
cool.
whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ma, let's kick it off with you. What did you think
Sure
of this
thing.
episode?
I think that we had a big death happen pretty quickly, and
Yeah.
with not much resolved so far yet.
Yes. I have
It was
mixed
kind of
feelings
like
about that.
it was kind of like, oh, she's dead, woo! But hey, everyone remember
Lila?
Huh?
I remember Lila.
I think we've seen Waller through 5 years of working alongside Ollie, holding his life over his head in that whole. Where were they again?
China?
They're in
Hong Kong?
Shanghai?
Shanghai.
Hong Kong?
Shanghai.
China? They're in China.
Yeah.
China?
They're in season 3.
China.
Yeah.
We're talking about the flashback.
Yeah,
flashbacks.
but Amanda Waller's been there from the start. She's been such an integral part of this entire show that for her to just be, I thought that Lila would be used as bait more so than Amanda. I don't know. That was weird for me. One point that I do have to pick, I like the Diggle has a brother and blah, blah, blah. That was a little slow and finally it's getting momentum for me. But having them stand side by side, and Diggle is
John
so
is
tall.
huge compared to Andy.
And he is tiny.
Yeah.
It's like you do not share the same parent.
Yeah.
And it's like that kind of took it out of her for me a little bit. But what did I like? And this, again, we're seeing a shift in villains. So it was Damien Dark. And I'm like, gotcha, following on. And then they're like, phew, no, now it's this. And I'm like, who's
Shadow
this guy?
Spire.
Yeah.
Shadows.
Now-
Which is probably set up to
I
be
have to
paid
s-
off in like season 7.
I've
Right.
got to get. I play Quiz Up when I watch shows. I've got to stop doing that because I'm getting every third thing, and it's obviously showing.
So there's a division in the chat. Some people are saying that Waller was killed off because of Suicide Squad and the
Absolutely.
DCEU. Some people are saying that Waller isn't dead. I think she's pretty definitively
She's pretty dead.
What is
I
that,
did
bullet
have a
through the head?
moment. I did have a moment being the nerd that I am that I'm like, life model decoy. Oh shit, that's Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. Wait.
That's
why
a
would she?
different universe?
How's she not dead? It was a
we
bullet
had
to the head.
Yeah, we had a
Bullet
pretty
to the head.
definitive shot to her being shot in the head. I have mixed feelings because it is definitely done because of the Suicide Squad movie, and it's frustrating because I thought we were past that. I thought that's the reason we
I got
have
an
a
answer
separate
for
TV
you.
universe.
I got an answer for you.
I
It's
wanna
because these characters aren't popular enough. They're
Yeah.
not pop. You can't have more than one. Imagine if El Diablo was on Arrow. They kill him off quick. Deadshot. They kill him off quick. Why? Because you're going to introduce him to a larger audience. If you're going to have multiple forms of him, you can have 2 Flashes because he's the Flash. Everyone is pretty familiar. He runs fast. That's good. That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
So you got Supergirl and Superman. Pretty easy. We get it. 2 Deadshots is I don't know what the hell he does. I can go
Who's
watch
the
a
real
TV one.
Deadshot? Yeah.
Who's the
Look
real
very
Deadshot?
Yeah.
different.
So but
Yes.
and also the other side of that is I've never been sold on this Amanda Waller.
She's very
Yeah.
New 52. Usually
Yeah.
Amanda Waller is a little bit
And too young.
Bulkier.
Even
and more intense and
Yeah.
more deadly, more
Yeah.
like a threat. This
Ruthless.
one is just like, I'm smart. I'm not going to tell you everything.
Yeah.
And that's the extent of my character.
And-
Goodbye, Mr. Queen.
They did an interview with David Ramsey, who
Sassy.
plays John Diggle, and he talked about how this affects Lila and John, and how Argus not having a leader affects them and influences their storylines. And so a lot of cool things can come out of it, even though I think the reason it was done wasn't necessarily for narrative reasons, and that kind of bums me out.
Sure.
All right, Matt, what were you thinking about this episode?
What was I thinking about this episode? I honestly loved the Andy and the Andy storyline. I love those
Me too.
flashbacks. It made a lot of the waiting around we've been doing feel a little bit more
Although I was a little
worthwhile.
worried that Afghanistan was very rainy and had a lot of woods.
It definitely looked exactly like where they fought the League last season when Adam flew through that jet. I was like, this is the same dirt patch. You didn't even change anything.
I like the addition to Shadow Spire. I prefer Diggle-centric episodes.
Yeah.
Diggle-centric episodes almost always hit for me.
Diggle might be the best part of the show.
He really is.
Yeah.
You don't like Diggle?
Maude's not a
I mean,
Diggle
he's
fan.
all right. He's good.
well,
that helmet. Oof.
But what
he's getting a new one.
He's getting a new
Yay,
helmet.
that's exciting.
But what I do not like, I don't like hallucination goth Felicity. I just felt like we didn't need it. I get it. We're getting through her struggle this week, coming to terms with the fact that she's now in a wheelchair. That's a good and important storyline. The way that you're delivering it made no sense to me.
But yeah,
it felt so lame.
What was the character development? Remember when you were different and now you're different again? Like, what is it? Why?
For me, because it kind of, I thought it was a good way to externalize an internal struggle. I think it would have been better in an episode, a Felicity episode. It felt weird, like, hey, this is the Andy and John episode, and also a Felicity episode.
Yeah,
like,
we'll
it
tag
felt-
you on.
Even though it had a similar problem to this week's Flash, where there was too much going on. Except the difference here for me was it all worked.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like it could have been more fleshed out. I agree with you, Matt. I really like John and Andy and their dynamic.
I agree.
A little worried that we're dealing with a grave situation. The only person that has there's now another Diggle. So if we kill off Diggle, there's another Diggle waiting in the wings.
Is he in the grave?
Oh, here we go.
no.
We need Flash to show up at the grave. There has to be some importance of why the Flash shows up.
no.
Diggle's going to show up on the Flash to help fight King Shark or
Yeah.
get King Shark. You bring Andy along. He's like, what the hell are we doing over here? And like a giant shark shows up. Chomp.
I don't think. No, well, there's definitely setting up the grave because the
No,
grave
it's
is
not
supposed
that.
to be 4 months in the future now.
Yeah.
They're setting up the grave for the end of the season.
Yeah.
True.
I'm very worried that it's John.
Everybody's
Because if
pretty
you
worried.
think about it,
damn
even
it.
story wise, Andy would actually the dynamic they have is very solid.
Mm-hmm.
Losing John and replacing him with Andy, who's a little not as pure of character, would add an interesting dynamic.
But he's
to the
not
team.
tall.
I guess it
But
would.
but it would be a huge bummer. I still want John to just go be security at Flash.
You want that? It's not happening.
Because I want him to live.
It's not happening.
I want to live.
It's
fam.
not happening, DJ. Okay, I do want to bring up really quick because we were talking about the hallucinations. I thought that part was garbage. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. But it also did bring in a new code name for Felicity. And that's a question of the day because we're talking about how Batman was teased in the Arrow universe because Arrow made a side comment. We're going to call you Overwatch because Oracle was
Oracle's
taken.
taken.
And because in the Batman world, Oracle is Barbara Gordon in a wheelchair who is the Felicity for Batman, basically.
Yeah.
So, are you guys freaking out about Batman basically being in the Arrow universe, kind of, sort of?
Didn't we? I feel like we already had confirmed this, didn't we?
No one said Goth. Wait, what? That Batman existed?
Wasn't there something at some point
Well,
that
Let
was
us
like
know in the
another
chat.
reference?
Bruce Wayne has been mentioned several times. The Wayne Tech has been mentioned several times. And we got the Dark Knight Man of Steel reference in a Legends of Tomorrow trailer.
What do you want to say? Really quick.
That when they were with Dark's family, the kid was wearing a Batman sweater or something. Someone tweeted that one. That's technically a reference to Batman.
Because you
I
guys
didn't notice
tweet
that. It
that
might
at
have
us
been. It might have
again.
been.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I feel like this is the most definitive. Like I feel like that's a pretty definitive. Oracle exists in this universe.
Yeah.
Therefore, Batman has to exist in this universe.
Well, it's just like if Superman exists in this universe, which Supergirl is essentially thrown out there, then Batman exists in this universe. It didn't feel like a
Definitely.
huge shock to me.
but we still don't know if
Hey.
Supergirl is in the same
know.
universe with them. I hope she is.
Yeah.
Because
She might be on Earth 3.
Because
I can
I'm
see Kara and Barry being really cute.
yeah,
Oh,
they did
yeah.
have a really great relationship.
Ooh, I want to
But-
see that
Who's more
relationship.
awkward and cute?
I'm
and
also
nerdy?
thinking-
I want to see
Really
it.
quick. What's
that
up?
I'm also thinking that in season 4 of the Flash will be like, hey, you've been admitted to the Justice League, and we're gonna get a shot of a bunch of silhouettes with a bright light behind them, and we're like,
Yeah.
oh, they exist, and that's it.
And then the whole,
Yeah.
and then the CW goes off the air. There's
And
no
a lot
more
of folks are
DC
saying they
TV
mentioned
shows.
Bloodhaven. They mentioned Bruce Wayne and
And
Flash
we had
season
Harley
1.
Quinn. Harley Quinn exists in this universe.
Oh
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
It was the voice Tara Strong who does
Yeah.
the voice in the cartoon. She did the voice of Harley Quinn in the first Suicide Squad episode,
Yeah.
which is really fun because she's like, "Ha ha, I
Yeah,
was a
and
doctor."
and she was supposed to be. She was supposed to be a bigger part of that Suicide Squad episode, but there was a big no.
because
Suicide Squad, the
Suicide Squad
movie.
and Gotham.
And Gotham.
That kind of fucked it up a
yeah.
little bit.
Yeah. I am still crossing my fingers, especially now that the Teen Titans show was canceled, that Batgirl will show up in Supergirl.
That'd be kind of cool. But come on, we got an Oracle tease, and
Yeah.
how cool would Batgirl be alongside Arrow in like a
But
fight?
she can't be Batgirl because she's our Oracle.
Hey, in the Injustice comics,
Can you just imagine
she
now?
gets turned back into Batgirl.
Can
Yeah.
we just imagine now, like TV Bruce Wayne and Ollie sitting down having a drink, being like, "We have so much in common."
Yeah,
Yeah, so
it's
much in common.
crazy amount of common.
You know, rich billionaires stalking the night at night, girlfriends in a wheelchair. Cheers.
But
Cheers.
again, I will say that the beauty of
Oh,
Arrow.
well, Barbara Gordon never dated Batman. That would be creepy.
That would be creepy. they've been able to progress Oliver's character in a way that nobody's ever been able to do with Batman. Like what Oliver's doing right now about trying to be happier, more open, being in a stable, loving relationship. Like this is uncharted territory for a show that started off as a Dark Knight ripoff.
Yeah, and like their relationship has been really stressed, but Oliver is staying true to what he wants to be. He wants to be happy. He wants to be a symbol of hope.
And I thought
for
Stephen
Star
Amell
City.
did really good work in this episode, especially in the scene where Felicity's yelling at alternate self.
Which
I
Right.
think what sold that scene was his reactions to her.
Very natural.
Yeah.
Can I just say, and I may be the only one on the couch that thinks this, the names Overwatch and Spartan they toe the line between cool and like really lame.
I think Overwatch is a little much. Spartan's dope. I'm surprised Spartan hasn't been used before. I think that's a great name.
Votes on Overwatch and Spartan. What do you think? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumb medium for Overwatch, thumbs up for Spartan.
Okay, Matt?
I'll say Spartan is cool, but it felt a little clunky when it came out of Oliver's mouth for the first time. Overwatch, oh, she watches over us. Overwatch. God damn it.
Perfect. Maude? Down for both?
Spartan.
And kind of for Overwatch? I give
No, Spartan, yeah, Overwatch, no.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, I give thumbs up for both. I mean, it's just a name. And also when...
So's Maude. Doesn't mean it's good.
Damn. Damn. Well, okay, guys, let's get a quick poll. What did we think of this episode? I'm going to give it a solid 7.9.
7.5 for me.
7.5 for me.
I'm going to give it probably an egg.
An egg.
But a different 8 than Agent Carter, because Agent Carter's good in a different way than Arrow's
Yeah,
good.
that's the thing. It's like it's on a sliding scale.
Yeah.
I feel like every show has a relative quality.
Yeah, this was
level.
a really good episode of Arrow. What makes Arrow good is different than what makes Agent Carter good.
Agreed.
Do we got any fun tweets for Arrow?
We do. Big shout out to, and he's told me how to say his name before. Watch me butcher it. Jure, girly.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Jure. Whatever. Well, sorry, buddy. You're a big fan. Waller was killed off so Lila could take her position and have something better to do aside from housewife cameos. Do you
That's
guys agree
maybe
that
true. And
she's
that
going to
might-
take over Argus?
And that might be another good way of getting rid of Diggle if he becomes more associated with Argus. So
Yeah.
he's gone, but not dead.
Well, that's the
basically
thing.
a Roy.
I think that actually is what's going to happen. Is Diggle fakes his own death at some point towards the end of this season and winds up running Argus.
Do you
in
guys
secret.
think it's a fake? If it's a fake death, Oliver's not in on it.
He is not?
I
no.
think the rage Oliver and Felicity are feeling are
Is
legit.
real.
Or legit
Yeah.
rage.
Totally.
Very cool. All right, guys, we got to hop into our very last show, guys.
Let's do
I'm
it.
really excited because this show has been freaking crazy so far. Legends of Tomorrow.
Yes.
This is part 2 of the pilot. They're infiltrating some kind of arms race, and then Adam loses some tech, and they break in and do some fun stuff. A lot of pot jokes and time travel paradoxes.
Doobies.
Let's kick it off with DJ. What did you think of this episode?
Oh my goodness! I can't believe this is on TV.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
first 10 minutes before the title card comes up, I'm like, this is everything I've ever wanted.
You know
in
what I
my
think?
life.
Yep.
I'm gonna just take that clip and be like, "You guys want to watch Legends of Tomorrow?" I was like, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Can I? Don't need to know the characters. Just watch this.
Just
Yeah.
watch it. It's amazing. I can't believe it exists. The
Yeah, right?
closest thing was like a similar fan moment was in Supergirl with the White Martian, and then they had some flashbacks to John's past, and it was all CGI, and it's like, where did the money for this come
Yeah.
from? Because this is great. It's same thing for this show, and it's I like the characters. I'm interested to see how they continue to gel. I feel like and the outside on this, I thought this episode was a little clunkier than the premiere.
Really?
And I don't feel like most
wow.
people agree with me on that.
I did
For-
deeply disagree.
For me, I thought this was a little clunkier. I think because the two things, it relied a lot on this whole mystic 1,000-year romance for the
Yeah.
Hawks, which
4,000 years.
just wasn't built up well enough for me. And also, I thought Stein's lesson about himself came out of nowhere.
That is interesting.
It's like I learned a lesson about a character trait I got in the premiere of this series.
Yeah,
No, I mean he's always kind of been arrogant.
always been
He's always been
Don't get me
arrogant.
wrong, I like arrogant
I
Stein. It
kind
makes
of-
him more interesting.
I
Yes.
agree with the points that every time they're in the 70s and they meet a character that's either an early version of themselves or an older version of their child, that
Yeah.
is their child,
I did like that reveal though.
I feel that's a little bit rushed and it could be done with a little bit more care.
Yeah. Even, which is weird to say because all these characters kind of got their own little premieres in other shows. I did like that the reveal of there was a reason that guy from the Flash Arrow 2-parter that knew so much, why he knew so much.
Right.
I was like, where the hell did that guy come from? And now we can find out.
True,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think I have to agree with the 4,000-year-old relationship. Like you're really just riding that. You needed a reason to bring Hawkgirl. You needed a reason to bring Hawkgirl and
I like
Hawkman.
the two actors. I know there's mixed feelings about the actors playing Hawkman and Hawkgirl. I like both of them. I'm just not. Maybe if weird to say.
Is it
if
that they
had their own
don't
share.
have chemistry together?
I actually think they could.
4 minutes, let alone 4,000 years.
I just
Right?
think it's I just think it's a lot to ask of two like it would be a lot to ask of any two actors to say, hey, you need to sell 4,000 years of
Oh,
relationship.
of course.
At least one of them has to feel that way. The boy's
Yeah.
got to feel that. She's got no fucking clue still.
Yeah.
Matt, what'd you feel?
I freaking love this episode. I'm speaking as somebody who was really let down by the premiere. I felt it was really clunky and filled with exposition. And you know what? It has to be, because there's a lot to set up,
Yeah.
and you have to explain why all these people would take this journey and so on and so forth. But this episode hit all of the right buttons for me. The first 10 minutes was awesome. The whole big battle. Every time they do a big battle, I'm like,
Yeah.
like my mouth
crazy.
drops open, and I'm so excited. I'm just like, I'm a small boy watching
In the
it.
second fight, the
Yeah.
one outside of Vandal Savage's
Yes.
house,
Yeah.
I was like, just pause the video for a second and look, because it's like Rip's shooting a gun, Adam's
Yeah.
flying in the air, Firestorm's in there, White Canary's knocking out 15 people. I'm like, I need to breathe for
The
a
fire,
second.
the
Yeah.
ice, the
Yeah.
blasters.
Oh, yeah, and then
the
they're there.
Can I
energy.
speak
Oh.
about ice for a second?
Uh-huh.
Now, we have established that Captain Cold, his gun is so good, it can even freeze lasers.
Oh,
he could have
boy.
frozen. He could have frozen that cage and just bashed it open at any time.
Did he?
He
have
didn't know.
his
They
gun?
had
They
to
didn't bring it.
bond.
They
Yeah.
didn't,
No.
they didn't bring the future tech. That was a
No.
rule.
But he would have had his gun.
He had
Why the
his
fuck
gun.
did he have
Right. That's what I'm saying. That plus every time they cut to him, he's just blasting CGI at nothing,
I love
and
it.
nothing is getting
That's
frozen.
the best
Not a
part.
person.
It's
not
l-
an environment.
It's like a
nothing.
big air cannon that's a little cold.
Nice. You know who I thought had the best chemistry in this episode was Ray and Stark.
They
I
did
thought
too.
their
Yes.
thing in the prison was the most interesting character moment in the
like
episode.
And I really like Stein and Heatwave because Roy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mick, they have they're so funny, they're so great, and I like, I'm kind of like, I feel like a lone wolf saying that I really like Jax a lot. I like Jax
I
and
like
Stein.
I like him too.
Yeah, but anyways, that's my opinion. I want to hear from Maude. What do you think about this episode?
Agree. This feels like a Marvel show.
It feels like Avengers.
Yeah.
It feels really Marvel-esque, where it's just more about having fun and kapoink, thwack, doing. But you're right, like those big. I think we had 2 of them this episode. I feel we were spoiled, like having those 2
Yeah.
huge fight sequences. I did pause it at one stage, and Heatwave's gun was not even close to the guy that he was apparently hitting.
There's a
and
little
smacking.
bit of wonky staging in that, but the worst offender being the Hawks fight with Vandal Savage. Like, I'm going to stand here while you fight Vandal Savage, and then I'm going to have a moment with you while you're dying while Vandal
he's gonna
Savage is
watch
standing
me.
right there.
Right.
Yeah, oh my
What
God.
the fuck was Vandal doing? And just
Yeah.
like,
I'm going to
He
stab you
was
in
just
the
like,
side.
you know what? She needs a moment.
But I'm so excited.
This is the
for,
200th
maybe he needs
time.
to prep before he sucks in somebody's soul.
I
I
guess.
do.
I'm
when
really
I
excited
need-
about like episode 4 or 5 when they really like ironed the kinks out.
What
Like,
I
this
would have
show's gonna
liked
be
is the
amazing.
premiere and this episode being back to back in the one
It would have
viewing.
worked so much better that way.
I think it gave us time to process because it introduced so many ideas in the first one. Because it's like, now here's 8 characters, you have no fucking clue who they are, and then like you kind of had to stutter through it. But now they're working as a unit or like in little mini units. We're working around. I didn't like where the fuck was Rip? Like, I mean, you brought it up earlier. Like, Rip wasn't there in the first like couple missions, but like he kind of took the stance of like, well, you don't want to follow my little lessons. I'm gonna go gloat
Yeah.
about it, and you're gonna go
They
fuck
hurt
up.
Rip's feelings, so he powdered in a corner, waiting for them to make mistakes that he could harp on later.
Yeah.
I feel like they haven't figured out what to do with Rip Hunter yet. All of these other characters, they've had an opportunity to write in some form on these other series.
True.
So at least they know how they function. Rip, we know that he's experienced a tragedy, and he's doing this against the will of the Time Masters. But that's really all we know about him. So it's going to take a few episodes before we can really start to unpack how he fits into this series. Because he's not the leader. None of them are.
He's not the leader, but he's kind of like the lead character
seems-
of this.
Yeah.
He's the main motivation. What you said?
He said he's the leader.
He is the leader.
Said,
He's
don't be
supposed to be.
confused.
But he has
I'm
no
leading
con-
this.
He has no control over these people.
What are people saying on the Twitter
That
about
we
Legends?
should mention Damien Dark.
Damien Dark showed up and he
I-
was not blinking.
Yeah, he's great.
Is he immortal too?
I don't know.
Or is he just
There's
magic?
shenanigans going on. There is
just
some interesting.
magic.
It was tough, like when you're trying to sell Casper Crump as the big bad, having Damien Dark come in and be like, I'm intrigued. Casper Crump does not have the gravity I want from Vandal Savage, but I like how
sound-
off kilter he is. He's like a little weirdo psychopath that somehow became immortal.
He is a little weirdo.
Yeah,
He is a weirdo. Like, he shot his own scientist because he's crazy, right? Like,
yeah.
that's it.
But he's interesting. He's off kilter. I kind of like that. I kind of like that he's a little off kilter. But
It's a different kind of villain.
Damien Dark, Neil McDonough has more presence.
He does presence. He's got more presence. I
hope
okay.
they don't kill him off this season of Arrow. I want to see more of him.
Speaking of killing off,
Yeah.
Hawkman.
Oh, can we talk about this?
Yeah, talk about it. Go at it. Yeah.
Let the sun shine.
Oh, you're happy?
Yes, I'm so happy. I do not like him.
I like that actor as Hawkman. I like him as
Yeah.
Hawkman,
His
but
voice is
I'm
so
also
deep.
glad that they got rid of him
Yes.
because the cast's a little bloated.
Not only that, not only does it cut down on the cast, it gives Kendra a lot to deal with emotionally.
Yeah,
it's not
because
just I'm trying to remember
she
who
finally
I am.
remembered her 4,000 years of love in the last 5 minutes of that episode.
Right. And well, but like that, but like she wasn't able to tell him. She's not just stuck like listening to him. She's not off with him for the whole episode.
Yeah,
now
they
she
were
can
very
mix and match
separated.
with the other members of the team. The way that they'll bring him back will definitely be far more compelling than just he's here.
It'd be fun to see the switched roles of Kendra having to teach him
Yes.
about it. Would be fun. What you gonna say?
Well, someone in the Twitter was saying, do you think that maybe they'll use time travel to get him back?
I mean, he's gonna reincarnate.
Yeah,
I mean, of
they'll
course,
get a different
Probably
one.
at some point.
Yeah, here's always a Hawkman to go around. Who do you think they're going to pair Hawkgirl off with to be part of that love triangle? The inevitable love triangle.
I don't.
Who really
negative
has bonded
woman?
with her so far? Just
Nobody.
Cisco.
Just Cisco.
Cisco and Oliver that one time was like, "I believe in you, Kendra," and she says, "Thanks," and that's about it. That's about all the
Speaking
relationship.
of Oliver and Legend of Tomorrow, they announced that we're going to see a older version of Oliver inspired
Yes.
by The Dark Knight Returns,
got a-
armless,
We got a quick photo of that. If you can throw that up, a quick illustration from the Dark
hell
Knight.
yeah.
The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah. Now, if you guys saw, I did a Comics 101 last week in advance of the Legends premiere. That was all of the spoilers, everything that had been released, news like that.
Yeah.
That was about Legends of Tomorrow before the show had premiered. And we're also going to see a either younger or older version of Barry as well this season.
That would be
But I'm really
very
excited
cool.
about that because that same episode we see older Oliver, we're going to see Connor Hawke,
Yes.
setting up my theory that we're going to get an Arrow Beyond type
Which
scenario.
is exactly what I pitched in that video, and it's going to be the coolest.
All right, guys, I want to get a quick. Oh my god, I just had a fucking freak out moment. Sorry, internally, I was like, when they do the future Barry thing, there's got to be more flashes, right?
Yes.
There's got to be. There's got to
gotta
be
be lots
Wally,
of
right?
flashes.
Well, they've
Yeah.
announced that we're going to get Trajectory, which is the first female speedster in Flash.
I
name's
looked up
Trajectory?
Trajectory when I did my all of DC's speedsters.
Yeah, where was she? Is she from the future?
Lex Luthor tried to make a group of superheroes,
Oh, okay.
and so he found a way to give
Fun.
her super speed, not through the Speed Force, and immediately, boom, first one dead. So she's
great.
spoiler. Sorry, she's not going to last long, but she will be a fun addition to the show. What would we rate pilot part 2 of Legend of Tomorrow, starting with Maude?
8.5.
8.5.
I'll give it an 8. The fight scenes were incredible, but the show is still finding its footing.
Yeah.
I would say also an 8 because of those couple things. Now, to differentiate myself, if we're going off my enjoyment, the show I enjoyed most this week was Arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though moments in Legend of Tomorrow blew my mind.
I'm gonna give this a 9.
Woohoo!
I'm gonna give this a 9. This
for
show,
you, pal.
watching it, like the music and just like how they're just structuring this show to be like so freaking epic, and they still have time for character development. That's the biggest thing. You may not have liked Stein's arc through this. I enjoyed it a lot.
I really enjoyed it, too.
You still have time. You got with two people. You had it with Stein, and you had it with somebody else. Oh, with Ray and with Cold. You were able to learn a lot about these side characters from Arrow and Flash. I enjoyed the shit out of it. And also, guys, let's do a quick poll list.
Hell yeah.
So the comics that you should be picking up next week. Over at DC, you got
Bam.
Midnighter #9. I've heard nothing but good things about Midnighter. If you like Grayson, if you like those Bat books, you should check out Midnighter. Over at Vertigo, you got Sheriff of Babylon following Cop and some other people in occupied Iraq, trying to deal with a murder mystery, and it's a very compelling book. Over at Boom, you've got Klaus #3, which is Grant Morrison writing an origin story for Santa Claus, and it is weird as you think it would be. At Image, you got Paper Girls #5. It's from Brian K. Vaughan and Cliff Chang, and it's amazing. Those are two great creators, and it's a great book.
Very cool.
At Marvel, if you like Agent Carter, one of the creators of that is writing Captain Marvel. The creative team, Agent Carter, is working on Captain Marvel.
Very cool.
Awesome.
And so then issue number 2 comes out. And then Miles Morales is getting his first comic that's set in Earth Prime, Marvel Earth Prime. What is that, 16?
Where's the white boy?
616, whatever. As New York's official Spider-Man, and that's Spider-Man number 1, so you should check that out.
Very cool. Maude, you had some pushes you'd like to do?
Certainly do. Today on SourceFedNERD, SourceFed Animated came out. So give that
very
one
cool.
a watch today or over the weekend because Wayne plays a big role in that one. And Sam, you get electrocuted, which is hilarious because you love The Flash so much. Also tomorrow, Dungeons and Dragons is coming out. It's
Oh, God, that show's so much fun to
episode
make.
7?
That'd be 8. Episode 8.
Episode 8?
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Already?
Oh, goodness. It's episode 8.
Wow.
We're all on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all on it.
Yeah,
Look
we're
at
all
that.
there.
Yeah, that'll be really cool. So keep watching that one. And
I'm
there's
a
only
big
going to
jerk
be
on it.
2 more episodes left of that campaign before we start another one. So if you haven't seen any of the Dungeons and Dragons, hey, we're all on it. So get to it. It's not that dorky.
Yeah, it's not that
fun.
dorky. Like, I've never played Dungeons and Dragons before this, and you can probably tell by watching it.
Yeah.
It's great. It's really fun. But where can we find you, Maude?
I'm at Maude Garrett or Geek Bomb on YouTube if you want to give that one a like because I do power what I'm playing, watching, and reading.
Matt.
You can find me on Twitter at Matt Lieberman. That's MattLieberman. Got some cool stuff coming up. Can't really announce it yet, but stay tuned for that. And I'll throw another shout out to Geek Bomb, Maude's channel, and Nuclear Family, the sketch channel. We put up a Harry Potter sketch this week, and I played Draco Malfoy in it, and it's really funny.
There you go. I was waiting for you to
And
say
Maude's
it.
in as J.K. Rowling.
DJ.
DJ, you can find me at DJ Talks Trash at any place that matters. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody that contributed to my Indiegogo last year. If you did, you probably got a nice, cool shirt like this. If you're wondering where your rewards are, check your email.
Is that
check the email you used on Indiegogo. Maybe check the spam because we've contacted you.
That movie, man.
Yeah, but we checked most packages. It looks like all of them got to where they were supposed to be going. So I hope you enjoyed your rewards. Thank you
Is that
for
a
making the short
naked-
film.
is
But
that
check
a
your email
naked-
to see the short.
Is that a naked woman on your shirt?
naked lady.
That's all I was trying to say.
Oh, but before we
But
get
it's a heart.
before we get a lot of heat, yes, Firestorm absorbed a nuke. There you go.
Yeah.
We said it. We
Oh,
mentioned
I'm
it.
sorry.
It was so freaking cool.
I'm sorry. There's a
He
lot
got
that
a level
happened.
up.
Yeah.
Oh
Totally did.
my God, how
He
cool
did.
would that be? There's a big version of Firestorm in the comics. Really cool. Anyways, guys, you can find me on Twitter at Sam Basher, Instagram at Sam Basher, and basically anywhere else at Sam Basher. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you go and subscribe to this on iTunes. This podcast, just search Superhero Roundup. You found it real fast, or just subscribe to YouTube if you're listening to this on iTunes. YouTube.com/SourceFedNERD. Make sure you check out D&D, Animated, Superhero 101. They got crazy things if you want to learn about all the superheroes you see on
And
Legends of
Suicide
Tomorrow and everything
Squad.
else. And Suicide Squad, that one came out this week. Learn everything you want to learn about the Suicide Squad. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
One clap. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we do one clap. Well, now
I missed it.
you can't stop. Now you
No,
have
I
to do it
can't.
forever.